whatever you wind up doing is exactly what you should be doing.
And I have not behaved one single day of my life. Not one day of my life have I behaved, and I am fine.
I need your help. I can't tell you what it is. You can never ask me about it later, and we're going to hurt some people.
Whose car are we going to take?
Good morning. Thanks for joining us on the Nikki Medoro Show. It's been quite a morning for myself and for Kim McAllister. I thank everyone for being in the comments. I don't know if you guys noticed or didn't notice. The show description was not up as normal yesterday. I usually try to put it up a day before, especially because we work so early now. StreamYard messed with me. And then Kim, you're like, I'm never waking up that early again because obviously it just sets you off. So, you know
what happened to me? I had another chair night. I know.
You fell asleep on the chair?
So I sat down in this, we have this recliner in our family room. I sit down and I didn't turn on the TV or anything. I usually will then I'll create Mark Thompson's show and the little picture that goes on. And then I create the after party. And I do that in the evening. Well, my body was like, dude, you have been burning the candle at both ends. It was like 8:30. I fell asleep. I woke up in the chair at 6 o'clock this morning.
I hate that.
But I had a great night of sleep. And it's
there
like,
you go.
But then I was up, and I'm not used to being up that early, and I'm doing stuff, and it's picture day, so I'm doing hair for picture day, and I'm doing all these things, and then I look at the clock, and it's 9 o'clock, and I'm like, oh, gee, I guess it's time to go on this YouTube.
Gotta slide behind the chair right now. Well, I'm glad you made it. We have a fun show coming up. We're gonna start with the government shutdown. It's getting, if our entire federal government and pay for military wasn't hanging in the balance, it'd be fun to watch the implosion of the Republican Party. The serious part of this, Kim, is there are solutions to this. If we could make Congress feel the pain that military families would feel, all those sorts of things, I don't think they would be so, and not saying that they're not taking it seriously, but, cut off their own pay. Keep working. You don't get to go home until it's figured out. All of these things are being considered or just talked about as this October 1st deadline looms of shutting down the government. And as we know, it's between the far right wing, Matt Gaetz and others, and Kevin McCarthy, and they're shooting themselves in the foot, and they're imploding. They're shooting a gun in a circle at each other. A terrible analogy, but it is, and it's pissing people off. They don't know. I don't know what the Republican Party even wants with this government shutdown. Thankfully, they just appointed or passed a new joint chairman. That's good because that's been hanging in the balance. So it's disappointing to see, but I don't understand why people are actually considering this political party is going to get us and get this country moving forward. If you look at the laundry list of things President Biden has done, along with his vice president, Kamala Harris, and his administration, in comparison to what? What has the Republican Party done but bitch and moan and do all of that sort of thing? So we'll have some clips from people like Gaetz, Chip Roy, another Republican that's just completely embarrassed with where the political party is. Did you see, we've been talking about John Fetterman, Kim, and about his dress code and things like that. Did you see what he said recently? He says, hold on, I have to read it because it's so funny. He wrote this yesterday on Twitter, X. He said, if those jagoffs in the House stop trying to shut our government down and fully support Ukraine, then I will save democracy by wearing a suit on the Senate floor next week. And that's what's so ridiculous about this whole entire thing is really they're doing press conferences, conservative media. You're talking about John frickin' Fetterman's clothes when we're about to have another government shutdown. He says, and then talking about the Lauren Boebert thing, he's John Fetterman again. He's nailing it on X. I figure if I take up vaping and grabbing the hog during a live musical, they'll make me a folk hero. Of course, that is.
Wait, what does that
in
mean?
reference-
Is that like a thing for touching the lady parts?
Yeah. No,
Oh.
well, grabbing the hog is the male genitalia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah. So like I'm assuming if you picture the snout of a hog, it's something like that. That's the
Oh.
analogy. I don't know. I
That's
could be
kinda
making that
yucky.
up.
All
Well,
right.
grabbing the hog is what he says. And
All
of
right.
course, that's in reference to Lauren Boebert. Of course, was at Beetlejuice, vaping, blowing the friggin' vape smoke everywhere. And then apparently grabbing the hog of her date, who's a Dem, who has a bar that apparently put on drag shows and things like that. So Fetterman's knocking it out of the ballpark.
High class, that one. I'm telling you.
Let me just play this quick video, can you? Because it's a minute long. And it's from an anchor in Colorado, where, of course, Boebert is from. I don't know if you've seen it. It came out a couple of days ago. This guy, Kyle Clark, I guess he's a news anchor on Channel 9 in Colorado. He does not like Boebert at all.
Well, who does really?
Well, she got reelected. I know it wasn't by a wide margin, but she did get reelected. So let's hear again is Kyle Clark.
Republican Congresswoman Lauren Boebert's recent performance of sorts that got her thrown out of the theater in Denver was a lot of things, but it wasn't a surprise. I haven't seen a single person say why I am shocked that Lauren Boebert was rude, disruptive, and belligerent. This is, after all, the Congresswoman who suggested that a Muslim colleague was a suicide bomber. I haven't seen anyone surprised that Boebert did not tell the truth about what happened. Because, I mean, days before, we just fact-checked her latest false claim about migrants. I haven't seen anyone say that it was out of character for the Congresswoman to appear to berate theater staff members who were just trying to do their jobs. Really, the only surprise in all of this is that Boebert, once she got caught, apologized and said that she didn't live up to her values. What? I mean, when Boebert didn't know that the cameras were watching, she was exactly who she is when she does know people are watching. Boebert reportedly asked the theater staff, "Don't you know who I am?" Yes, we do.
So that's a pretty brutal, from a local Colorado news anchor, her neck of the woods. It's not national. It's not that sort of thing.
Sounds more like a commentator than a news anchor.
Yeah, I don't know.
right?
I mean, Kyle Clark on Channel 9, I don't know who he is. It's Colorado. But he's on a news program. He seems a little Anderson Cooper-esque. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just what the Republican Party is obsessed with. I truly believe are not the issues this country needs to address. Really, like Fetterman wearing gym clothes, that is the issue of the day. Yeah, Eric, but Boebert has zero right to talk about family values of any sort. And then Maude, I love it. Fetterman promises to wear a tan suit. I don't know what the Republican Party is so obsessed with clothing. Between politicians wearing tan suits, gym shorts, or drag queens. I mean, they're so upset with outward appearance because they're dead inside. I don't know. It's just they're rotten on the inside, so they put a suit on the outside. I have no idea. Karen says she's an embarrassment to Colorado. I agree. But again, elections matter, people. Elections matter. I was really shocked. Harry says rude, disruptive, belligerent. Nothing new here. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So I don't know. I just thought it was pretty funny. Did you see Susan Collins? She threatened to wear a bikini on the Senate floor in protest of Schumer's decision to suspend the dress code.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, she said to a group of reporters, I plan to wear a bikini tomorrow. She didn't, though. To the Senate floor. Obviously, I'm not going to wear it. But the fact is, as I understand it, I could. Whatever.
Seriously? Like that's what you want to be upset over? There are a million things in this world to be upset over.
Yep, exactly.
You know, I mean, pick a real issue.
Nah.
There's a plethora to choose from. What you wear on the Senate floor, on the House floor, that's your hill that you're planting your flag. Whatever.
That is something that they are so very upset about. And the problem is they don't have any solutions. They really don't. I mean, yes, what's happening at the border is a huge problem. I mean, if you've seen some of the pictures just recently, I think that people are coming from Haiti. I mean, thousands and thousands of people. I have no issue with bringing this issue up, right? And saying, let's do something about it. I don't think we need to hate on these people, ignore why they're coming, those sorts of things. But something needs to be done. But it's not as if the Republican Party has a solution to it, right? I mean, what was Greg Abbott's? Let's put up some barbed wire fence. That's solving the problem? That's not solving the problem, right? That's being cruel, in all honesty. But yet they just like to bitch and moan about problems and offer zero actual solutions.
I was reading a story this morning in all my little morning activities that was about how more voters, and it was based in the UK, but it's applicable to the United States as well, how more voters are voting specifically against the establishment. Like that's their main thing. So it doesn't matter who the candidate is. If they go against the norm, if they go against the establishment, if they, you know, if they're a little outrageous, if they're a little, that's what is attracting people. People are more, you know, just wanting to shake things up. And that doesn't matter to them, you know, that the establishment might be a better option for you than the crazy outliers that you're trying to put into office. Why though? Why worldwide are people so attracted to the, you know, that things that are against the norm?
Ooh,
they want to shake up the way things have always been.
That's a good, because they don't like the way things have always been. If you look around, okay, let's just do America. Let's not even do the whole world. Okay, let's look at America. The way the system has been set up and who it benefits, understandably, pisses a lot of people off.
I can see that.
The conversations just within generations, right? The boomers and let's say, not even Gen X. I mean, that's our generation. Let's say Gen Z and millennials, right? The struggles that the younger generation has to go through just to get the bare minimum, which was, I'm sorry, easier for the older generation, and have that generation look at the younger generation and be like, pull yourself up from your bootstraps. I was able to do it. You should be able to do it. As if we live in any way, shape, or form the same world is ridiculous. So if I was the younger generation or kind of fed up and even a little bit older, I'd be like, no. The rules, the laws, the people you voted for set up this system that doesn't help me, that hurts me, that sets me up actually for failure in many cases, right? And unless we get those people out, it's never going to change. So that's the mentality I feel that we're seeing. I also think that goes into the whole idea of getting older politicians out. It's like those are the people that were in office that approved or did not put oversight or whatever, fill in the blank, and allowed this system to be as it is. Now, I'm not bashing America. I still think we, you know, in comparison to some other countries, do provide so many opportunities. And there is a reason why people want to live in the United States of America. But we don't make it easy for everybody. And we shouldn't just, you know, put the wool over our eyes. Say, we're the greatest country in the whole wide world and there's no problems. There are. From income to pay, to how we treat people, to what we value and what we don't, you know, guns, everything. I mean, there's so many problems that we fail to address because older generations never did. And now we have huge problems on our hands. And so if I was looking around and being like, well, who was in office? And these people have been in office for decades. I'd be like, you know, maybe not. Now, we're going to talk about Jackie Speier. Now, I know it's only a county supervisor. Okay, so let's pull back and be like, it's not like she's running for president or anything. County supervisor, still huge. All politics, I truly believe, are local. That's what really impacts us. And as we were talking about yesterday, that 75 age limit, she's under that. So, you know, that's okay by me then. But again, you know, would you consider her establishment? Or would you count her as experienced, dedicated to the community in which she wants to serve again? It's all these different things, Kim. And
what I don't understand about the whole establishment thing is, even if you wanted to have society benefit a different segment of people, right, instead of the wealthy, could you still not focus on being anti-establishment, but still voting for people of, I don't want to say morality, but like that aren't so ugly and spout off this ugliness? I mean, does it have to be that anti-establishment equals ugly? And by ugly, I mean a soul. right?
Right.
Spouting off things, offending
Like
people.
hateful things, right?
Right. I mean, can you still be a good person and want to benefit the majority of people, or want to help people that are poor, or, want the focus of government to shift? Why does it have to be that if you're voting against the establishment, that you're voting for people that are sometimes racist,
Wacky.
sometimes
Yes.
wacky, sometimes whatever?
Yeah.
I just don't understand the juxtaposition there.
And it's interesting that you bring that up, because let's just compare the far right to what many consider the far left. And I'll say someone like AOC, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you think about what they want, you know what I mean? Or what they're touting, like we want, I don't know, we don't want people to even say that they're gay. In school, teachers can't be who themselves are, that sort of thing. Versus AOC that wants us to do something about climate change and student loan debt, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like the extremes within the parties, the issues they care about are so far apart, right? It's like, and again, my politics is showing, Kim, and I fully admit this when I speak like this, but it's as if, the Republican far right really wants to go back, I do sincerely believe, to when it was okay to spout some sort of racist, bigoted, xenophobic type of things under the guise of free speech, while on the left, we just want more equality. We want more inclusion. I don't understand why we're so separated like that, but we are. And I think that it makes inroads for the far right people, those wacky people that we were talking about. I think it gains them some of those votes of people that like that sort of thing. And we didn't realize how large a number they really were. I think we underestimated it.
Randy is saying it doesn't really matter who you put in there. They're all going to be beholden to money.
That's a great point.
You put younger people in office, they're going to address the issue. They'll be influenced by the same moneyed interests that the current politicians are currently influenced by, because Randy has a point. Money talks. So
except who was in power with and who helped appoint, and I will say this going back to the whole establishment, old time politicians, right? And this goes on Democrats and Republican sides. The U.S. Supreme Court with Citizens United, that was the downfall. I truly believe for this country, not taking dark money out of politics. I would have to find a survey or some sort of poll to look at it. But I would say that especially if you're talking to younger Democrats, they do want dark money out of politics. It should be. Other people may not, because they're rich and they want to influence politics. Yeah. That really, we have to do something about that. And if you want to talk about politicians, old style, old time politicians that want to take dark money out, you have to talk about Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren. And those people have been in politics for years, but they want that. So, it matters who you're talking about and where they put their priorities and what they see as the problem.
Yeah.
Beth says, I think the problems involving generational conflicts reflect back to the baby boomers are such a huge percentage of the population. I'm one of the baby boomers, and we've always been the driving force. Ding, 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 ding. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, Beth. And I don't wish, obviously, my parents are baby boomers, right? I don't want them to die off, as they say. That's really a callous way of saying it. But we have a big generation, a huge generation of people that have shaped policy that is impacting generations today. I think it was Beth or somebody else earlier in the comments was saying, I don't think it's any easier now than it was back then. Every generation has its challenges. True. I mean, if you look at the 1950s and 60s, I'm sure we're going to myriad huge problems, right? What I'm talking about this is the system and how it works and how we've never done anything about, let's just look at housing, the price of housing, the benefits of single family homes. What's that done to the character of neighborhoods, the brainwashing it's done to us on what communities need to look like, and how we now hate people that want to move in and build high density housing. That is something that wasn't always the way it was, right? We lived in communities. We lived closer together. We need to build housing. We need to keep it affordable. Harry, thank you for the $5 super chat donation. Thank you. I didn't get any of the business out of the way today, but Harry, thank you. And he writes, when will the GOP stop being the party of personality and return to being the party of policy and reason? Yeah. I don't know. I don't see it happening anytime soon. And I sure as hell don't see it if Trump specifically becomes the nominee. I mean, how do you break through that crap? I don't know. Eric's the same thing when they've driven Trumpism out of the party. I do feel, again, I do feel there's a frustration and a fed upness, if that's a word, within many members of the moderate GOP and the GOP that just want to do something. I mean, when you have moderate Republicans, when you have Mitch McConnell being like, I don't know what these people are doing. Like, we're voting against our own bills and we're just doing it to make a point. It's ridiculous.
The Nikki Medoro Show, where we have fed upness.
You know what? It's my show. I can make up all kinds of words. All right. Well, I do like this. I do want to talk about Jackie Speier. Let's get some headlines out of the way. But again, this implosion is what I'm going to continue to call it of the Republican Party. It is a slow yet fast moving car crash of this party that cannot get it together. They don't have the Senate. They obviously don't have the White House. They're trying to do stuff and say things that don't make any sense whatsoever. And it just boggles my mind that they're doing this with no rhyme or reason. Why are they doing this? They don't want to give money to Ukraine? Maybe? I don't know. It just boggles. And I don't know if anybody in the comments understands it and can explain it to me, because I just don't get it. So we'll talk about that a little bit more. We'll touch on Jackie Speier. What do you guys think about the former congressman wanting to get her old San Mateo County supervisor seat back? And we could touch on that. We could touch on whether, she should just leave it and kind of, but this is what popped into my head. And this is what I really want to talk about. Do you think people that have had such a career, I mean, Jackie Speier is a badass. Okay. I mean, she just is. She's had this long, long career. Do you think she just didn't plan for retirement? That's what I also think. And I know it sounds funny, but did you even think about what am I going to do after being Jackie
shaking
Speier,
her head at you going, Nikki, you got it all wrong, my friend.
But no, I mean, outside of politics, did she not think about what she was going to do outside of politics? And is that why in less than a year, she put out a statement when she was retiring? I was at KGO. I want to spend more time with my family. I want to travel. It's been less than a year.
Okay, but listen, when you're a congressional representative, you are on a plane all the time. You are going back and forth to Washington, D.C. You're traveling, you're spending a lot of time in D.C. And when you're in Washington, you are not with your family. You're not watching your grandkids grow up. You're not with, hanging out with family members or doing whatever you want to do at home. You're traveling. You're doing the business of the people. You're sitting in a, whatever apartment you have or townhouse you have in DC, and you're away from your stuff. So at least if she's in San Mateo County as a supervisor, she's home.
Okay, so what you're saying is I like doing politics, so I'm going to stay in politics, but I'm going to do local politics so I don't have to be away from my family.
That's right. It makes sense to me.
Okay. All right, so see if you agree with Kim. Then that does sound reasonable. But again, no, I'm not, I know we keep talking about, bring up the next generation. And I'm not knocking a county supervisor, especially of a major Bay Area city in a major area like this, right? But is it the same? I mean, do we really need to talk about the whole, should you leave that seat open for somebody younger type of thing? And do you think that she'll win? I know that there's a Democrat running, but I don't think he was anticipating going up against Jackie Speier. So unfortunately.
Guess I'll drop out of that race.
Exactly. I was like, I mean, how do you go up against Jackie Speier? Especially because I can't even remember his name, and name recognition is huge, especially with if you can get Jackie Speier as your county supervisor, that's pretty damn good in my opinion. But well, I don't know. Do you guys think she's going to win, I guess? All right, let's get some business out of the way. Then we'll do some headlines. You guys, please click the thumbs up button to show your support of the show. Also, make sure you've subscribed, please, to the show. It's very easy. And if you hit that bell, you'll be notified when there's new shows. And that'll help when I do something to my computer and it didn't download on time. Also, the super chat is live. Be like Harry, who loves to be the first one. Thank you, Harry. We always appreciate your support. He gave a $5 donation to the super chat, and we really, really appreciate it. So all you have to do to be like Harry is look for the $ under the live chat box where you're all communicating, and throw some dollars. A comment, if you put a super comment or a comment in there during the live show, we'll read it, and we do go back and read those comments after the show as well if you want to throw us some dollars during the replay. Please become a Medorable. I have done something, Kim McAllister.
Oh, what?
I've done something. I have created the Medorable button. Now, I don't know if it's going to look right. I've ordered some specs. They're
You
coming.
mean like a button you
button.
wear on your, okay, like a campaign button?
No, it's not huge. It's not like
All right.
I'm Jackie Speier. I'm running for Congress. No,
Yeah.
it's a small. It's like a button, like you could put on your lapel or your hat. I think
Okay.
it's like 2 inches big. I
That's
designed
cute.
it yesterday. I went through a bunch of proofs. Pretty good company. I've never used them before, so we'll see. Okay, so I've made some adorable buttons. If they turn out, I'll buy more of them, but I only bought a small amount, 25, because yeah, I want to see if they look good, right?
Mhm.
Before I buy a ton of them. But anyways, if you become a Medorable, you can get a button. Actually, anybody can buy a button. I'm going to put it on our merch shop. But if you buy a raffle ticket to our mystery box raffle, you will get the first one. So, and obviously you won't have to buy it yourself. So I'm putting it in the box. Hopefully it turns out it's going to be here after they're made in early October. Our anniversary is October 17th. Okay. So that's when we're doing the online mystery box raffle. And let me bring up that picture for you guys. So you guys, and we're getting tickets. So snap up those raffle tickets. So we're doing a 1-year anniversary mystery box online fundraiser for the show. The money goes to myself and to Kim. Each ticket is $20. And in that box, I'll tell you right now, is the first Medorable button. Okay. And so you can buy as many tickets as you want to win the box. The box is worth hundreds of dollars. And it's filled with all my favorite, not all of my favorite things, but a lot of my favorite things. Right. And so if you live within 50 miles or so of San Jose, I will also personally deliver that box to you. So that's also a prize for those that live close enough. If you live outside of that area, I will ship the box to you. So how do you get your tickets? Snap them up, buy as many as you can. Just go to PayPal, hit send, and the email that you put in is the Nikki Medoro Show at gmail.com. The Nikki Medoro Show at gmail.com. That's the email also to reach me. In the PayPal message, the notes thing, please put the best email to reach you. Now, some of you have forgotten, so I just message you through PayPal. If you get that message and you want to send me another one, hey, this is my personal email address, please do. I have a whole folder with all the names of people that are going into this raffle. So I'm trying to stay as organized as possible with this thing. But yeah, so if you haven't received a confirmation, and you should, everybody should receive a confirmation that I've received your payment for your raffle ticket. So just if you haven't received it, that's also the email to reach me. A couple of you have, and I've sent it, but it's either lost in spam or I had to message you through PayPal. So I've been really good on sending them out. If you haven't received one, please let me know as soon as possible. I really, 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 I love Ricky. It's my birthday. I know, Ricky. Hopefully you win. I hope everybody wins. I wish I had 1 million boxes, but I don't. But you're in there, Ricky. And thank you, thank you, thank you. So get your tickets. Again, the raffle is on October 17th. That is our 1-year anniversary. I can't believe it's already been a year. I can't believe it's already been a year. But I want to keep it going, and we have to obviously raise money to keep it going. Beth, thank you so much. Just throwing some funds into the pot while I'm still around. Thank you, Beth, for the
Where are you
$50
going?
donation.
What do you mean while you're still around? Are you going
I
somewhere?
know. Are you leaving us? Do you know something that we don't know? She's like,
I hope everything's all right.
I know, exactly. But thank you so much. Honestly, those donations, all the donations, whether it's through our Patreon, whether it's going to be to buy raffle tickets, the super chat, all of it helps us out, you guys, because we need it. You know, this is the way we make money. And I really appreciate all of you being here. So get your raffle tickets. There are only a few more weeks left. So buy them up. Increase your chances by buying more than one. And it's going to be a good box. I promise you, you're going to like it. I'm individually wrapping everything. So, and there's going to be the first Medorable button in there. Now, I hope it turns out well, Kim. I made it a fun one. I mean, I like it. I hope I like it. I'm really excited to receive them. So we'll see what they look like. Square says, I think the 50 milers would be glad to drive to meet Nikki. Hey, if you want to drive within 50 miles, I'll meet you anywhere, right? I'll meet you within the zone. So even if you live outside the zone, let's meet up. If you're in the San Francisco area, we can meet at the Red Jack Saloon. That's a great supporter of us. All these places. If you're down in my neck of the woods, we can meet someplace. There's the Red Jack Saloon. So we'll work it out. So whoever wins, we will work it out. And the Red Jack Saloon has the Kimikaze, the Medoro Mule, and the Martini to support all of our shows. Has anybody seen the QR code in San Francisco? I know that's up and running. So there's these flyers that John Daly put out. Thank you, John Daly, with the QR code. Kind of, advertising our show, some guerrilla marketing out there. So anyways, I love it. I love all of you. Thank you so much for the support. And please buy those raffle tickets. Okay. Let's do some headlines with Kim. Let me know what you think about Jackie Speier running for her congressional seat in San Mateo. I'm just going to go on record saying I don't have a problem with it. I know that I've been going off about the whole age thing. One, she's under the 75, which I think we determined yesterday was going to be the limit. She's under that. And, it's like, it's like the biggest fish, right? Working for your county. I think that it's great. And if I lived in San Mateo County, I'd want her as my congresswoman. But I also hope that she does start preparing the next generation and mentoring those. And I would imagine that she would. Also, who's surprised that Rudy Giuliani is accused of being a bit of a groper? Not me. He's so gross. All right, let's talk about all that and a bunch of other stuff right after whose news? Kim's news.
Now, from around the world to up your street, the Nikki Medoro Show presents News Czar Kim McAllister.
Well, let's start with this big visit. Ooh, it's a little fuzzy, that picture, but you can see that's Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky surrounded by United States lawmakers because Mr. Zelensky is meeting with congressional leaders today. The visit coming as Congress weighs the Biden administration's request for an additional $24 billion in support for Ukraine. Russia launched a wave of attacks across that country overnight as well. Lawmakers scrambling to pass legislation before the end of the month to avoid a government shutdown. Will they do it? House Speaker Kevin McCarthy plans to try and pass a short-term funding bill that includes deep spending cuts and additional border security, but it leaves out Ukraine aid and disaster relief funding as he faces pressure from the most conservative members of his conference. And yesterday I was reading, Nikki, some Democrats are thinking, okay, well, we'll make deals with McCarthy to keep him as Speaker of the House so he can't get ousted. And we'll, if he gives us certain accommodations, then we'll, vote his way on certain issues. It's interesting.
He is no Nancy Pelosi. That's all I keep saying over and over again. He has zero control over his own party. Zero. No. I mean, he will bend to whatever whim. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't listen to people, in your political party. Yeah. Like, I'm not saying that at all. Of course, you should listen and work with them. But he has to make concessions. He doesn't get what he wants except that speakership. And so he's just going to bend and bend and bend. Did you see the White House's? I don't know who runs the White House Twitter account, but did you see this? I'm going to put it up real quick. Here it is. This is what they put.
Oh yeah, I did.
Heartbreaking. The worst person just made a great point, and they were talking about Matt Gaetz making a good point about Kevin McCarthy. So they it says that Matt Gaetz had said, "I can assure you that Speaker McCarthy deserves all the criticism and more because it's his fault that we haven't considered individual appropriations bills up to this point. And that's actually not a bug of the system. It's a feature because they want to jam us at the end of the government running out of money. And then under that time pressure and fear of a shutdown, centralize power so the lobbyists and the special interests who own Kevin McCarthy, who give him all the money, get to make the decisions." And I just love that heartbreak. I mean, this is the White House. I don't know if this means like we're just going down as a country. Like there's no, like it seems like we should be above posting memes on the White House Twitter account. But then again, it's Twitter, so I think it's actually kind of funny. So.
Yeah, we're not above that.
We're not above that at all.
No, we'll do that. Absolutely.
Exactly. That is so funny.
Let's talk about the automakers. Laying off employees as contract talks between the UAW, Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis continue. Practice pickets started around the nation, including at Stellantis headquarters in Auburn Hills, Michigan. That company sent workers at its factory in Perrysburg, Ohio, home this week. They're expecting to lay off employees in Kokomo, Indiana. So, sucks.
Yeah.
The chair of the Fox Corporation and Fox News is stepping down.
Wow, I didn't hear that.
In a letter to Fox colleagues on Thursday, Rupert Murdoch announced he will become chairman emeritus for both companies effective in November. The 92-year-old also announced that his son Lachlan will be taking over as chair of Fox Corporation and Fox News.
Yeah, and he's been really more involved. Not that Rupert hasn't, but Lachlan has a lot had his hands in it. So, okay, that doesn't actually surprise me.
Why do I just think of that TV show?
Which one?
You know the one about the media conglomerate and the kids and the taking over.
I
cannot think of the name. That's on the tip. See, when I say I can't remember now, you can't remember. Nobody can remember.
No, they can't. Damn you! I hate the fact that you just did that. Come on, you guys! It just ended, and I loved it. Damn you! How can you do that? Oh no! It's not inheritance. It's Come on, Succession. Thank you.
Damn you,
Kim. See, it's what's funny is you put me on the spot. I do this game on the radio in the morning when I take my kid to school, and like I always laugh about how stupid some people sound, like they can't remember the answers, and it's all pressure. It's like, damn it, I know that.
I know it's on the tip of your tongue.
Thank you.
Yeah, Rupert Murdoch, sayonara, sucker. Off you go into the world.
Okay.
Well, thank you for all of you that you've done for America.
Thank you for ruining this country.
Thank you for ruining this country. We appreciate that you just shot upon us and now you're leaving. Good. Sayonara. Hollywood writers' strike could be ending soon. Whew. Writers Guild of America and producers met face-to-face yesterday. They are said to be near an agreement, according to CNBC. The two sides are hoping to finalize a deal today. Meanwhile, the Authors Guild, which is a different group, is suing OpenAI for copyright infringement. The group of authors that includes John Grisham and George R.R. Martin, accusing the company of unlawfully training its artificial intelligence chatbot, GPT, on their writers' work. Similar lawsuits are pending against Meta Platforms and Stability AI for their use of data found on the internet. The Authors Guild says, yep, you can't infringe upon our copyright, OpenAI. Don't take our stuff and make that AI thing smarter.
This is my question. Every time we hear about these lawsuits, who is or what is the company doing it? Like it's always like, oh, AI copy. Oh, who did it? And who's selling it? And who's making the money? I want to know the person that's doing it or the company that's making money off of doing it, not just ChatGPT. Like that. What does that mean to me? That doesn't mean anything to me. I want to know where can I find it? Is it being sold on Amazon? Those are the people that need to be held accountable now. We need to crack the whip early on this nonsense because it's just going to get worse. That's all. It's just going to get worse.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Let's go to the jobless claims because the number of first-time unemployment claims are actually down. Numbers out from the Labor Department this morning show figures are the lowest since January after dropping by 20,000 last week. Continuing unemployment claims also fell by 21,000 to an almost 8-month low. So does that mean people are getting jobs, or does that mean people have just stopped looking for jobs, or what?
Well, I mean, I guess it's probably both, right? I mean, there's some people that are like, okay, I'm just not going back to work. I'll retire or whatever. And then there's other people that get a job. I mean, okay, so what was it? Yesterday or the day before, they kept the interest rate steady, which of course isn't a drop, but it's not a rise, right? And unemployment is down. I understand things are expensive. I understand that gas is expensive. I understand that groceries. I just went grocery shopping yesterday. If that didn't hurt, it hurt. And I'm not saying that, but that's not all. And I'm not saying it's not all on Joe Biden, right? And so we have to just be fair and realize that there's I love this word, a confluence of issues that are creating the system that we're in right now, where we have low unemployment, right? High interest rates. We're not in a recession. So we just have to be fair of what's going on.
Yeah, I think no matter what you say or what evidence you provide to show that Joe Biden has made the economy better, the fact that people are paying more for groceries at the grocery store or more for gas will fly in the face of that, and people will want to believe what they want to believe.
Yeah, but I mean, I just go to the companies that are charging these amounts, right? I mean, that's really what it is. It's they can hide behind the political sparring and be like, nah, it's Joe Biden. No, it's not. It's you want to charge more and people will pay more. That's what it is. Capitalism.
A member of the Sunol Glen Unified School District Board doubling down on his controversial vote that bans the school from flying pride flags. During another contentious public meeting last night, board member Ryan Jurgensen told the audience lies were being spread about him regarding the pride flag ban and that he and his family's lives have been threatened. Dozens of community members showed up to yesterday's meeting, spoiling for a fight over concerns that Jurgensen was considering pushing the board to get rid of the superintendent, Maureen Barnes, who had sparred with him over the pride flag ban. Members of the audience walked out of the meeting yesterday when Jurgensen was trying to explain himself. It was just 1 week ago. The board voted 2-1 to ban the flying of the pride flags, with Jurgensen saying the vote was simply a way to keep the district out of potential lawsuits. So it's getting uglier and uglier there.
Oh, jeez.
In San Francisco's Twin Peaks, the license plate readers are coming. Steps are being taken to improve safety in this neighborhood after an uptick in violence. Mayor London Breed saying the Twin Peaks neighborhood has seen a rise in crime recently, including a shooting last weekend that left one person dead. The number of car break-ins has been on the rise in that area. Mayor saying there are now plans to put a camera on the gate at the entrance to Twin Peaks and also bring in a new license plate reader to gather information about vehicles spotted in that neighborhood.
Oh, interesting. Interesting.
I don't like these stories because I feel like more research needs to be done, and someone's always trying to put the blame on something, and it's really inconclusive. But I'll tell you about this new study anyway, because this study suggests a link between diet soda and autism. All right. Researchers at the University of Texas Health Science Center found pregnant moms who drank 1 can a day of diet soda were more likely to give birth to a child on the spectrum. Dr. Sharon Fowler says the study looked specifically at the sweetener called aspartame. It raises new questions about the dangers of the sugar substitute, which has also been linked to cancer in different studies. Now, does aspartame cause autism? Who knows? Does one study, and now people are going to say, oh, the study was done and look, it's conclusive. It isn't conclusive. We don't know. We just don't know.
Well, and the truth of the matter is as we learn more about something, then we can spot more cases of it, right? So if we know more about autism, if we know how to identify it better, then obviously the number of people on the spectrum will go up. And I always like to think of it as everyone is on the spectrum somewhere, right? And so if you think of it kind of that way, obviously there's more severity in those cases, but then you throw aspartame on it. And obviously the use of aspartame has gone up over the generations, as at the same time we've been learning more about autism. So it's not surprising. At the same time, I mean, Kim, it's one of those things where we create these artificial sweeteners and we create all these different things, and I'm sure it's not good for us, right? So I think just moderation is always the best thing, because it's hard to get it out of everything. You might, like a certain drink or whatever, and you have it. Just don't drink a ton of it. I doubt 1 can after all these is if it was hands down that, then we would see way more people who drank it all the time having children on the spectrum. I don't know about that.
I don't know if I buy it.
Yeah.
Just hear about this guy. He's a poker player who lied about having terminal cancer. He's trying to raise money for the World Series of Poker, and he won't give back the money.
Wow.
His name is Rob Mercer. He raised more than $12,000. He was trying to get to 30 grand, but he was claiming that he was dying. Mercer came clean this week, saying he lied about having colon cancer because he was embarrassed to tell people that he might have breast cancer. Might have. And meanwhile, he's taking money from people. Okay.
So he does not have cancer.
I might have is not a conclusive diagnosis to me. Yeah.
I might have whatever. I mean, you never know. And technically, we're all dying. So it's all how you frame it in your head. I always used to have this kind of joke with jewelry when people would get like fake diamonds or whatever, something that looked nice, but it wasn't real. And I'd always tell my best friend, I'm like, it is real. It's there, right? I mean, it is real. And so when people are like, is it real? You'd be like, yes. And it's not technically a lie, but they mean real diamond. And you're like, it's not a real diamond. So it's all how you frame it in your head on whether or not you're telling the truth, I guess.
Saying that you have terminal cancer in order to get donations so that you can play poker.
It's quite the gamble.
In the World Series poker tournament in Las Vegas. He says, I did lie about having colon cancer. I don't have colon cancer. I used that to cover my situation. What I did was wrong. I shouldn't have told people I have colon cancer. I did that just as a spur of the moment thing when someone asked me what kind of cancer I had. Mercer, by the way, is from Vallejo, California.
Wow. I know. I was wondering about the Raiders hat.
He was trying to get enough money to meet the $10,000 buy-in for the No Limit Hold'em World Championship. So they're saying
he got enough, right?
They're saying he received contributions between $30,000 and $50,000, including a stay in a suite at the Bellagio. Even a player who suffers from other chronic illnesses donated $2,500 for his plight. Yeah.
Wow. Well, what a douche. But he's a Raider fan, though. So
he says, I won't be refunding anyone because I believe that I may have undiagnosed breast cancer.
That's bad. You know what's going to happen. I mean, I'm not wishing death or anything, but that's just, you're bringing something into your life that you don't want to bring up. Like,
no.
You're not, in my opinion, he's not going to win the world. He's brought bad luck on himself because he's scamming people. That's the world I choose to believe in. Although sometimes these liars and cheats, they make out for a while. So we'll see.
Lastly, a poker player, I did that story already. I was going to tell you a story about this lady who had to be rescued from a porta potty.
I knew you were going to say, I'm like, that looks like a porta potty right there. What happened?
It is, well, it's not really a porta potty. It is, it is a structure.
Type of thing, yeah.
Right. It is a potty. She had an issue where apparently she dropped her Apple Watch into the potty.
Bye. Okay? I'm not getting that back.
I guess that was an accidental dropping of the potty into the thing. Well, she's safe after she had to be rescued. Michigan State Police said in a statement, the woman got stuck while trying to retrieve her Apple Watch. That she dropped it into the toilet at a park in the downtown area or in the town of Gaylord in the Upper Peninsula on the state. So this is an area that's kind of recreational. There's a lot of lakes and a lot of people vacation there.
Right.
In addition to state troopers, first responders from the State Department of Natural Resources and the Otsego County Emergency Medical Services were on the scene. The woman was, quote, flushed out after the toilet was removed and a strap was used to lift her to safety. State police urging park goers.
Down there?
She was down there trying to get her Apple Watch. So gross.
Woman, stop.
Let it go. It is not worth $500 to get your Apple Watch back if you have to wade through, you know what.
Yes, yuck.
State police are urging park goers, don't climb into outhouse toilets. That seems like a common sense scenario right there.
God, I would be, no, you don't. If you drop something, I was literally just talking about that because I went to a music festival and they have porta potties. And I always remember this one time I was at a weekend long music festival and I had to go to the bathroom at night. And of course you have to bring a flashlight because there's no lights in there. Right. And I dropped it. And your first instinct is to go for it. I was like, and then lit up everything. It was so friggin' gross. So no, you say goodbye. That is a $500 mistake that you do not try to fix. That is, you just say bye-bye. And you know what? That's so embarrassing because that is so gross.
They had to come rescue her and lift her out with a strap. I mean, oh Lord.
Oh my God. That is
there,
so disgusting.
Where's the porta shower? Because she needs one in a real hurry.
Oh God, it's making me nauseous. That's disgusting. I mean, does it even survive? I mean, what if what would be awful is if she got it and then it doesn't work anymore and you still had to buy a new one.
And what's in all the crevices now?
Oh God.
I don't want that. I mean, you talk about cleaning the Apple Watch with a Q-tip. I don't know.
No. Sorry, people. This is the most disgusting story.
Just let it go.
Morning. Oh God, that's so gross.
This report is crowdfunded by you.
Oh my God.
That means we rely on you to fund the show. You want to hear more of this? Who doesn't? You can find us at thenikkimedoroshow.com, thenikkimedoroshow.com. I'm Kim McAllister on The Nikki Medoro Show.
That is so effing disgusting. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. All right. Let's get that porta potty off. Okay. I did want to read a couple of headlines regarding Jackie Speier. And I know Lori had one that she wanted me to read, and I just had it and then I lost it because Kim distracted me with the poo. But basically, Lori was saying something along the lines of that she likes the fact. Oh, here. Oh, wait. No, that's the earlier one. She likes the idea of Jackie Speier. And if you're just joining us, Jackie Speier is throwing her hat in the race to become San Mateo County Supervisor. Apparently her first job in politics, right? Something like that. Oh, an early job in politics. And I really don't have a problem with it. Now, does this make me a hypocrite because of what I had said earlier regarding ages, and she's 73, I think she is. So she's under 75, which, yesterday we were kind of saying that was the threshold. But what do you think? I mean, do you think she should just, here we go, that she should just kind of find something else besides politics to do? Lori says, I like Speier, but I have concerns about her basically being quote unquote old style politician. However, this might help bring Democratic attention to local politics. The GOP have been focusing successfully locally for years. I like what you said, Lori, but here's my question. Do you think that she's going to have a problem bringing Democratic politics to San Mateo? I mean, we're the Bay Area. I think this is like a Democratic stronghold. So, I mean, she can get obviously resources, funding, things like that. There she is. And she looks good. I like Jackie Speier. I really do. Mm-hmm. I like her. I like her as a politician. I think she's a total badass. I've met her a number of times. She's really nice personally. I do think that her experience, bringing all that experience to local politics, can only benefit San Mateo, right? Her connections, things like that. On the other hand, let's be fair. I think her opponent, or would be a Democratic opponent, is like a 23-year-old. Not saying that's too young, but a 23, I think it's a guy, a 23-year-old guy whose name I do not know, is now going up against possibly Jackie Speier. I really think that Jackie Speier is going to hands down win this race. I don't foresee her having to try too hard to win it. But what do you guys think? I mean, do you think that, I know she's 73 now. So when would be the election for San Mateo Congress? So would it be next? It wouldn't be next. Would it be next year? I would assume maybe. I have to I have to Google it. I should have known that. So Speier would be running in. She is running. So I think it's next year, right? She stop talking on my computer. Hold on one second. So she's 73 years old. Yes. She's been elected to the board more than 40 years ago. Spent 6 years before moving to the state assembly and then, of course, to Congress. There are already reports that 2 candidates vying for the seat have already dropped out and put their support behind Speier. So she already has the support of people that wanted her seat. David says more national politicians should follow her lead and use their years of experience at the local level. Now this is an interesting point. It's like, okay, if you really want to stay in politics, stop going, at the federal level, right? Let's start working locally, because politics is local. I say it and it's not just a saying, it is. Why do we talk so much about, and I know that this is, different, but school boards, right? City councils, mayors, you want to know the things that impact your life on the daily? It's the stuff that's happening right outside your door. And the stuff that's happening right outside your front door often is decided by your supervisor or your city council member, your mayor, things like that. Joanne says she'd be great. She really cares and fights for what she believes in. Oh, and then Vicky in Sausalito says there's lots of conservatives in Hillsborough. Okay. I still think she'd have a lot of support. Okay. So Lori says what I meant was getting Dems in general to start focusing on local more. Definitely don't think there's an issue with getting San Mateo Democrats thinking of other counties and states. Big names bring attention. I love that. Yeah. I think that's a really good idea. And I think that, when you bring someone like Jackie Speier there, Similar to, Nancy Pelosi with San Francisco, they come, they talk to the people. It brings national attention to the issues. Now, that could be a good thing and a bad thing. I'm sure Nancy Pelosi is not too happy with the headlines surrounding San Francisco, right? So, yeah, we will see. We'll see. I'm going to put my money on the fact that Jackie Speier is going to win. I do honestly believe that she will be good for that congressional seat. And yeah. Okay, by a show of hands virtually, how many of you are surprised at the headlines that this dude has been accused of groping that woman right there? Do you remember who that woman is? So that is ex-aide Cassidy Hutchinson. She testified during the January 6th hearings, you'll remember, kind of talking about, everything that happened. Apparently, Cassidy Hutchinson is accusing Giuliani on January 6th of groping her. She says he put his hand under my blazer, then my skirt, while noting that the former Trump advisor John Eastman witnessed the assault. She wrote, I feel his frozen fingers trail up my thigh. He tilts his chin up. The whites of his eyes look jaundiced. My eyes dart to Trump advisor John Eastman, who flashes a leering grin. She writes, I fight against the tension in my muscles and recoil from Rudy's grip. Filled with rage, I storm through the tent on yet another quest for Mark, that being Mark Meadows, the last chief of staff. I don't know why. Nobody should be surprised. Nobody should be surprised.
Her detailing of what happened there is so gross and ick that it's hard not to believe it. I mean, that's hard to make up that kind of. And then she said, yeah, that leering grin from Eastman. Ew, just the whole thing. Ew. And not that I feel bad for her, because she put herself in this disgusting administration where you have to feel like it's full of, people that are sexist and bigoted and whatnot. But this
is a political party that I'm sorry, with the election of Donald Trump, after the grab him by the P tape and thinking that that's just locker room talk, has proven they don't give two licks about this sort of thing. You want to know why he was leering? Because he knew what Rudy was doing and he didn't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
And then you have someone like Megyn Kelly, obviously from Fox News. She was weighing in on another conservative commentator. I mean, he was an actor, but Russell Brand. Have you been following the Russell Brand news?
Yeah.
So he used to date or be married to Katy Perry. Anyways, he's a commentator. He has a podcast. He is facing, he's been demonetized on this platform because of his past relationship when he was 31 years old with a 16-year-old girl. And people within the Republican Party, not surprising, are defending Russell Brand, but not Megyn Kelly. Here's what she had to say about it.
I don't really care if it turns out that the rape charge or the sexual assault charges fall apart. You're 31 years old and you have sex allegedly over a 3-month period with a 16-year-old. We're done. I'm unsubscribing. All right. And I am sick of conservatives online trying to defend that as though she had a role in it. She was a minor. Just because you can't be prosecuted for it doesn't mean it's right. The conservative men I know are lovely. They're ethical. They're honorable. It's not to say they've never fallen down in their lives, but in no world would they be taking advantage of a 16-year-old minor. I have a daughter who's 4 years away from that. You come anywhere near her as a 31-year-old man, and we are going to have a serious problem. And it's not going to be over whether you get demonetized on YouTube. Yes. I really hope my friends on the conservative side of the aisle would remember, just because we're all over Me Too, and it was an overreaction, and it went too far, and it got politicized, doesn't mean that we have to knee-jerk defend every scumbag who gets accused of bad behavior.
Except you do. You do that. You do defend them. Now, again, that's why she was talking about because it's in the UK, and apparently 16 is not considered. It is in my eyes, and a 31-year-old should not be dating and having sex with a 16-year-old. What are you getting, man, from a 16-year-old girl? Again, Yeah, I understand. And Chris, I got it. It's in the UK. That doesn't make it okay. I mean, sometimes the rule, you can marry a 14-year-old in some states. Like, that doesn't make it okay in my eyes, right? It doesn't mean I'm not going to look at you like you're a predator, because you are. A 31-year-old man is dating a 16-year-old because the women his age see through his BS.
That's
right?
exactly right.
You're only dating a child because women don't like you, scumbucket. So, yeah. I mean, give me a break, Russell Brand. She's mature. She's not mature for her age. You're an ass. And the women your age can see through your BS very, very quickly. Exactly, Kim. Just because it's the UK doesn't mean it's okay. All right. And that's ridiculous. It's just, it's disgusting. But I'm glad, going back to like, oh my God, it's heartbreaking. I have to agree with somebody that's like the worst person in the world. Not that Megyn Kelly is like at the Matt Gaetz level, but she's pretty bad. She just held the water for so many of these gross Republicans. But yeah, she's right there. Like, you're done. You're done. And she's like, unsubscribe. I'm not subscribed to Russell Brand's podcast.
No.
I've never heard it. I think maybe a clip if it made the news for some reason. He's not my cup of tea, but if you listen to him, just know you're listening to a predator.
You called it, because this happened to someone in my family where a 32-year-old man was dating, lied about his age, and was dating a relative who was 17 years old, went to her senior prom, right? She didn't find out until one day, like, I don't know, a year into the relationship. It was his birthday, and she had looked at his driver's license to make sure that it was his birthday so that she could celebrate it, and realized that he was a lot older than he had said he was. And at this point, she's, 17, 18 years old still. So, and this guy was dumb. He was dumb as a box of rocks. This guy,
and that's why he was dating a 17-year-old.
Right, because no woman his age would have had anything to do with him.
No, because he smarter men as we get older.
He can pull over that kind of thing on a younger girl. I just you got it right. These people that yeah. How pathetic.
It's awful. And again, Russell Brand. Yeah. And Lori, I hear what you're saying. She says, I have a problem with some of these. At 16, I was screwing 25-year-olds and was completely in charge of situations and consensual. He was famous and 16-year-olds make decisions. Maybe his was wrong, but not all. Okay, I'm going to say this. At 16 years old, though, Lori, you have to admit, very impressionable. Right? Very impressionable. And 25, I still think is too old. If my 16-year-old daughter was dating a 25-year-old, I'll be honest, I'd have a problem with it. But let's add another 5 years to it, right? You're 30, 31 years old. What are you doing with a 16-year-old? What is she bringing to the table besides sex, which is just gross, right? Like, you're also famous. Go get somebody else, or you can't. Because there's something wrong with you.
Because you're an idiot.
It's your whatever. Because it's emotionally stunted. Exactly. And let's welcome our new watcher, Deidre. Or Deidre. I hope I'm saying it right, because we also have another Deidre. This is my first time on the show. I have to admit, it's good stuff. Just subscribe. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Deidre.
We call everybody Medorables here. Welcome to the show.
Aboard.
And this community is a fun bunch. So you'll see that quickly. All right. We just did headlines. So let's do the headlines after Jefferson Graham, because he's waiting in the wings right now. So let's welcome him to the show. Hello, my friend, Jefferson Graham, Photo Walk TV. Found right
Hi, Nikki and Kim. We're going to do something. We're going to do something today that's never been done on the Nikki Medoro Show, whether it's been on YouTube or whether it's been on the radio. Never in the history of this show has what I'm about to do.
Okay.
I was very concerned that during our time together, there was going to be a knock on the door from FedEx, and that I would have to run out.
Oh my God, you got a box.
And say, I'm sorry, I have to run.
I have to sign for this package.
That's right. But guess what I got in the mail today? Guess what we have.
It's an unboxing. Look at
I know. I love unboxing.
That's why I said we've never done this before.
You got the new iPhone. Did you get
not just
3?
2?
Oh, I was like, did you buy 3?
There's a lot going on in that box.
I know. Okay,
yes.
let's do this. Okay.
So just to be clear, this is the Apple Media box. So this is my review unit.
Oh, it's a fancy schmancy one.
And I did not buy 2 iPhones, but they sent me 2 iPhones to take a look at, the large one and the small one. And this.
How do I get on that mailing list, Jefferson?
Do you have to send them
Jesus.
back after you're done reviewing it?
Yes.
Oh, you do? Oh, well, that's not
yeah,
good.
because the phones go on sale tomorrow.
Oh.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, let's see. Don't break it.
Here is the iPhone 15 Pro Max.
I love when you pull the thing off of it. Oh, that's so satisfying, isn't it? Oh, fancy. Well, okay, what's your first impression? There's more of those camera circles on the back. I don't know how many they're going to add to that.
No, it's actually the same, but it's titanium. It's titanium, and they say that titanium feels different.
Does it feel different?
Let's compare.
It's supposed to be more like able to withstand an attack.
It's lighter.
Oh, is it? Okay, how much? Like significantly, you'd feel the difference?
Yes, but I'm barely. But it's a little bit lighter, and it needs to be charged. Okay. And what do we have here?
You can probably
Eric said the same thing. He's like, got to plug it in and charge it first.
You could probably beat it on the counter and it won't break.
Oh,
try that, Jefferson.
Yeah, whack him in a few good whacks.
There we go.
Okay.
USB. I just plugged USB in.
All right.
And just so that everybody knows, since we're doing an unboxing, you get a cable. You get a USB-C cable in there.
And that's the new one. That's the one that has both ends, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then you get a little thing that it was designed by Apple in California, but created in China. And let's take a look at the pink guy here.
Oh, you got a pink phone?
Apparently.
Oh, nice. That's the one my daughter would want. Is it pretty? Yes. Is it pretty? Oh, do the peel again. Do the peel again slowly, Jefferson.
Nikki's getting turned on over here.
I love it. Oh,
pink on the sides.
Oh, very nice.
And then this is a thing that most people are not aware of, but you notice there are 3 lenses on the back of there.
That's a Pro though that has 3.
And there's
right?
2 lenses on the back of this. So if you buy the iPhone 15, the 15 Plus, or the 15 Pro, you only get 2 lenses. You have to go top of the line to the Pro model, the Pro Max model.
Not the Pro Max.
To get your 3 lenses on the Pro Max.
Yeah.
And I don't think they've ever done that before. I think last year you could get the Pro and the Max and have the 3 lenses. This year,
what's the price difference between the Pro and the Max?
I think it's $200.
Is that worth it in your opinion?
Well, for me, yes.
Yeah.
Unquestionably, is it worth it? I would not want to have 2 lenses when I could have 3. So
I've always been a 2 lens girl. Only 2 little circles on the back of my phone.
No, I want 3, and
pretty soon it's gonna be 15. I don't know. The whole back is just gonna be a camera. I think
I have 3 on mine.
Fancy schmancy girl.
Yeah, I want the 3. I definitely want the 3.
Okay,
and,
so
go ahead. You could ask some questions.
Okay, so you just plugged in your phone. Okay, now yes, I've heard that the iPhone 15 models. I read this on Mac Rumors. Have a new setting to strictly prevent charging beyond 80% at all times when enabled. Why? I guess that's just a full question.
That's to preserve the life of the battery. Those of us, and it's all of us really, we're just charging nonstop and we leave it in all night long. You're only supposed to leave it in for half an hour or an hour or whatever, and then undo it. And that makes the battery last longer. So Apple says, and you could take that with a grain of salt, knowing that they want you to buy a new phone every year.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is my question. It's like, if we're only... Why not fix the drainage of the battery to keep it charged all the time? Because I feel like that's just what people do. Like, it's human nature to just be like, I'm going to go to bed and I'm going to charge my phone while I sleep. I guess this kind of solves it, right? But not really. I mean, will the battery last longer if it only is ever charged to 80%, or will it drain faster? Because it's only at 80% to start. Well, I guess we'll see.
My 14 Pro Max, which is a year old, the battery, sometimes I'll wake up in the morning and I'm at 80 or 90%. I didn't even get to 100 because it's has a hard time lasting longer than a year. But then again, Nikki's phone has lasted for 20 years and it's still running.
I know. It comes with a walker. That's how old it is. I mean, so the iPhone 15, we can't open it up yet. It hasn't charged. Apparently.
Oh, I can do a little bit, but you're not really going to see anything because I have to set it up.
Oh,
and it says, it says, hello, what
all
language,
this normal stuff,
what's your Wi-Fi network, say a few words to Siri, all this usual stuff. One thing I will tell people, as somebody who's reviewed these things many times, I do not do the hold your phone over this one and copy everything because it can take forever. I prefer just starting afresh.
Starting fresh. Okay.
And
go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. And my photos are backed up in other places, so it's fine.
What's the first thing you want to do with your phone?
First thing I'm going to do after I charge up and set it up is I'm getting in the car and I'm driving to Venice Beach, and I am going to be trying out all the various travel photography things that I am really interested in, primarily the telephoto lens. And I want to see how big of a difference we're getting from the 5X versus the 3X. And I'm going to be taking close-ups of skaters at the skateboard park, and then people walking down the street. There's some of the street photography, some of the murals, things like that. And then it supposedly has a extra coating on the lens to make the lens flare less awful. That little the green dot that shows up in sunset shots or sun shots, that drives me crazy. And they claim there's a coating on it, and we'll see if that works. And then I want to plug it into my hard drive, because for the first time ever, we can plug the iPhones into our hard drives and thumb drives. By the way, also in this box, this is important. Here's a Thunderbolt 3 cable, a USB 3 cable. The box, the cable that was, I hope I'm not doing gobbledygook, but here's the cable that comes with the phone, and it's a USB 3.2 cable. It's slower than the faster cable, and if you want it faster charging and faster transfers, you have to spring for, I think it's 80 or 60 or whatever, some ridiculous number. For this extra cable, and then they send in. They always
find a way to get you to stock up more.
Yeah, they send in some wallets too. Shameless plug: I'm 20 subscribers away from hitting a milestone. Will all the Nikki Medoro viewers? I only need 20. Just find me 20 viewers.
There you
20
go.
New subscribers. It's free. It won't cost you anything. Photo Walks TV right here on YouTube.
There you go. There you go. And you do live shows and recorded shows, and anything about taking photos is Jefferson Graham's the person to watch. Go ahead, Kim.
And I will be doing obviously a video about the new iPhone, taking it to Venice Beach, and that will hopefully post by tomorrow.
I have a question about how different you think it'll really be. I mean, the old iPhone Max, whatever, the one I've got, has the 3 cameras. The only thing different seems to be the glare thing. Or do you expect it to be like astronomically better? So much, so much new developments, and everything's, so awesome that I need to run out and get the new one.
I don't think it's astronomically. It just depends on how you look at it. Right now, your 3X lens is 70 millimeter, 77 millimeter. The 5X is 120. I'm a photographer. I want it. So, you know where I'm coming from. Yeah. You may not need it, but the USB-C, which allows me to plug the iPhone into a hard drive, that alone would be that would be enough for me, because I go on these trips. I take thousands and thousands of pictures. I spend way too much time transferring the photos. I would like to just put them on a hard drive really fast. So that's big for me.
SF Tesla asks, anything else in the review packages box? A wall charger unit, free software, Prince coupon? I didn't know it even came with any of that stuff. So. Well,
they used to send a coupon. They used to, in the old days, they'd give you a little iTunes, a gift card. And those days have come and gone. It's an iPhone 15 clear case. It's an iPhone 15 Pro Max fine woven case. It's a little wallet that goes on the back of the case. It is the little USB-C 3 cable, and then those 2 phones. If you want to see what the fine woven case looks like, let's see if I can open it.
And do you use the wallet thing on your phone? Because I am anti making my phone my wallet. Are you a phone wallet person? See, I don't understand people like you. I just don't. You lose your phone, you lose your life, basically.
Nikki, I don't carry a purse. Okay. Kim,
you can carry a wallet.
I don't believe in wallets. I ditched my wallet 3 years ago, and I love just having. Okay, I leave with this and my keys. Period. That's it, and it's really been a wonderful freeing.
You know how many
experience.
times you must like worry about leaving your phone somewhere, and now you've also left your wallet. That's how I see it.
Yeah. I wear pants and I feel them. I feel it.
What if someone doesn't take Apple Pay or whatever is in your e-wallet? What if you need cash?
It's a wallet. No, it's a wallet. They could put cash in it. Kim.
I have credit cards here.
Yeah.
Oh, it's right in your
you attach
phone
it.
case.
It's like a wallet attached to your phone.
Yeah, and then sometimes in here I put money. I rarely have cash because it's hard times, as you know.
Okay.
But rarely ever have cash. Though I did actually pay for gas this morning with cash because it was so much cheaper.
Yeah.
Hey, how much is gas in Petaluma?
Gas in Petaluma is in the $5.70 range.
Okay.
I just paid go ahead. How much did you pay?
I didn't do it, but $6.20 was at Chevron. I went to a cheap place that was $5.60.
I just filled up yesterday and it was $5.35.
Hey, pretty good. I will say
no,
Costco,
it's terrible, but yes.
Costco, if I had the time, it would be 20 cents less.
Oh, nice. I know. I never go to Costco. I never want to drive to Costco.
It's a party. It's a scene. It's a lot of people online waiting to save that 20 cents.
Wow, Kim paid $5.09 yesterday in San Anselmo. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Okay, so you'll give us a full review on Photo Walks TV on YouTube. Now, I hear that you're also taking a trip. Does that mean you're not going to be here next week, or
I will not be here for the next 3 weeks? I apologize.
3 weeks.
It's another big one. We're going to Maine next Wednesday for a few days, and then we're going to Nova Scotia, Canada.
Wow.
We're going to do some fall colors, and we're going to do some lighthouses, and we're not going to eat lobster because I don't have the taste for it. But
I'll eat your lobster.
Okay. So I will be doing full videos about all those wonderful places.
Sweet. So we'll have another whole montage of Jefferson Graham's fabulous photos. But again, 20 of you, if you have not subscribed to Photo Walks TV, it's right here on YouTube. Go check it out and just subscribe. Just subscribe, hit the button 20. And what's gonna be the number when 20 people subscribe?
It's 12,000.
12,000. Thank you to everybody that signs up and subscribes and supports Photo Walks TV. Jefferson Graham is the guy to ask all your photo techie kind of questions. Jefferson, have a great trip. Stay safe, and we'll talk to you in a few weeks.
All right. Thank you.
Bye. All right. That's Jefferson Graham again, Photo Walks TV.
That was an exciting unboxing, I thought.
I know. I love unboxings. Do you ever watch those videos regularly? Sometimes. I don't know why. It's just it's mindless, but you're like, what's in the box? What's in the box? So everybody, again, speaking of boxes, get your raffle ticket for our mystery box. I'm wondering, I'm going to leave it up to the person that wins it. But again, our 1-year anniversary is coming up. Have you purchased your raffle tickets yet? We're giving away a mystery box of my favorite things on our 1-year anniversary. It's October 17th. Tickets are $20 each. Buy as many as you want, and you'll win a box. $100 worth of my favorite things are inside this box. Small things, big things, including the very first Medorable pin. And I don't know how the winner's going to want to unbox it. Maybe they'll do it on their own. Maybe they'll do it in front of me. I don't know. It's up to them. It's your box. But I will let you know I'm going to individually wrap everything with little notes on open this when you blank, blank, blank. So that's my idea, at least. I have to get all my stuff together. But yeah, so go to PayPal. Tickets are sold through PayPal, and hit send. And the email to put in there is the Nikki Medoro Show at gmail.com. The Nikki Medoro Show at gmail.com. You can purchase your raffle tickets. Please include in the notes an email to reach you if you win and to get your confirmation. A reminder, you will get a confirmation email when you purchase your raffle tickets from me. If you have not received it, first check your spam and your PayPal messages, because if you don't include your personal email, that's the way I'm giving you confirmation. You can email back that, this is my personal email or what have you. But please, we're trying to get these tickets. It raises money for the show. The money goes to myself and to Kim. So go to PayPal. The Nikki Medoro Show at gmail.com is the email to use. And tickets are $20. And many of you have bought many, many tickets. So if you want to win that box and get it personally delivered by me. If you live within 50 miles of San Jose, please buy the tickets. Okay, let's do some headlines. And when we come back, we just stopped talking with Jefferson Graham regarding the technology of a phone. Tragic story that I sadly feel like I could be this person. I could be this person that has died by using this specific technology.
Uh-oh.
And how many of you just use it way too much that you would find yourself? Now, I do not blame this guy. I think obviously something went wrong, but I've made this kind of quote unquote joke before. The technology of Waze and Google Maps.
Mm-hmm.
It has sadly led to the death of a father last year. And I will tell you that what happened has not been fixed. Please click the thumbs up button to show your support of the show as well. And here is Kim with some headlines. Oh, hold on. Let me put up the volume of your intro, Kim. Only way it works. There you go.
Now, from around the world to up your street, the Nikki Medoro Show presents News Czar Kim McAllister.
Am I supposed to start talking?
Yes, please.
Oh, okay.
It's you, Kim. That's your cue.
Sorry, I was waiting for the news czar. This is Kim McAllister with a
Did you not hear
update.
it? Hold on. Did you not hear that? It was literally playing.
I heard a different music.
Okay.
But that's okay.
No. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
that's all right.
Okay,
regardless,
Sorry,
we have
guys.
a newscast, and here it is just for you. Kevin McCarthy. Yeah. Kevin McCarthy, House Republicans falling short in advancing a defense funding bill for the second time this week. Can't get it together. 6 conservative Republicans now, last time it was 5, now it's 6, joined the Democrats to defeat the procedural vote today, dealing a blow to Speaker McCarthy, who has struggled to move appropriations bills forward. This comes as the House also has to pass legislation to fund the government beyond September 30th. It's not looking good over there. As a matter of fact, the top Democrat, Hakeem Jeffries, in the House, is calling on Republicans to get their act together and pass a short-term bill to fund the government. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries telling reporters today his colleagues on the other side of the aisle need to stop their infighting and move legislation to avoid a shutdown by the end of the week. His comments come as Republican leadership and a small group of conservatives are at odds over how to fund the government. Conservatives want deep spending cuts. Some are opposed to additional funding for Ukraine as well. This is a big old mess, is what it is.
Exactly.
Convicted murderer Alex Murdaugh is pleading guilty. Today, in a Charleston, South Carolina court, Murdaugh told a federal judge he wants to take responsibility for more than 20 counts of financial fraud and money laundering involving millions of dollars in stolen client settlement money. He was found guilty in March of killing his wife and son and is already serving life without parole. And again, the guilty plea is coming for financial charges.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you've already been found guilty of the most heinous crime ever. What's a little financial fraud to throw in? You're going to be sitting in prison for the rest of your life.
Exactly. I mean, hey, might as well. Yep, I did it. I did it all. Absolutely. Yep. Let's talk about this woman. You remember her? Sage Steele is her name?
Yeah, she looks familiar. Is she like a talk show? What is she?
She is a former anchor on ESPN.
Okay, yes.
And she's not really talking about whether or not she's running for Congress, but it was reported earlier this week. Sage Steele is being recruited to run by Republican leaders and donors, as she was reportedly considering campaigning against Connecticut Democrat Jahana Hayes. So it remains to be seen, but the scuttlebutt is that she will be running for Congress.
And let me guess, she has 0 political experience, but she has a name and she's black. So Republicans are like, let's just throw her in and check boxes. I don't know her political background. I'm not saying she's not qualified. I don't know anything about her. I barely knew that I knew she was like on TV. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, Sage Steele. She has a cool name. I'll give her that. All right. The city of Oakland is trying to make efforts to improve public safety. The city council this week passed a resolution aimed at fighting crime in a number of ways. So under the resolution, here's what they're going to do. Oakland will recruit and retain staff to fix issues at the city's 911 dispatch center. The resolution also asks the FBI for help investigating crimes, calls for the installation of high-tech cameras on freeway on-ramps and certain business areas as well. The goal is to overall increase public safety throughout the city. I think you were the one that played that video the other day of this woman just walking down the street, and all of a sudden somebody grabs her by the hair,
she was
attacks
robbed.
her, throws her in the
Yes.
street, and people are filming it. No one seems to be helping her.
Well, I mean, there was one guy that, but remember, he was hesitating and like he helped her up. He didn't stop the actual robbery. It was two guys against one woman, wanted her purse and her bag. I mean, this is what's happening in Oakland. Not only Oakland, but it's people are scared, Kim. They have to do something.
I don't know. I don't know what is enough for Oakland. You know, if anything.
But how quickly are they going to see changes is the problem. It's like, okay, we're putting this money towards this money. Okay, but we need to see results. That's what people want.
Well, I guess having the FBI come in and help you investigate crimes, you know, it's to the point, it's laughable. I heard someone make a joke the other day about calling 911. Please hold. You know, we'll be with you as soon as possible. Meanwhile, you know, all hell's breaking loose. Your life is at risk and no one's coming to help you.
And how scary that has to be to call 911 and be like, help me. And there's nobody.
There's nobody. Nothing. Ain't got nothing for you. The city of Davis schools operating on a normal schedule today, one day after multiple threats were made against district employees and at campuses. The homes of school district employees were searched due to bomb threats against schools, the district's office, and the Davis Library. After searchers found no explosives, classes resumed as usual. This incident follows previous threats in August and February, causing evacuations and disruptions as well. That story had two of my favorite words in it, library and February.
February and library. That R gets people so many times. So many. Library, mom. Library. That's always one of the words I'm like, library.
But I just, you know, wow, against the school district, against schools, against people in the, wow. Why are we all so upset and so angry over everything?
I know. Because you're watching and listening to certain things that are making you outraged about it. That's why.
I don't know. I just so violent and so angry. And I just, people are getting weirder and weirder and weirder.
Exactly.
There is an auction that is taking place that is exciting to people who love Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Oh.
I love me some Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
But RBG,
A collar that belonged to the late Supreme Court Justice is going up for auction.
Oh.
Nearly $200,000 is what it's selling for. The famous golden collar with the glass beads has been dubbed the Pegasus by Ginsburg's family. It was one of her very favorites. It's the first time her signature neckwear has been available to buy since she passed away in 2020. The top bid is currently at $195,000 with less than a day left at auction. The Virginia-based auction house says it plans to donate part of the proceeds to charity.
Okay, hold on. Now I have a picture of it, and it's not that one. It's not the one on the left, but it looks a lot like the one on the left. Hold on. Here it is. This is it.
Oh, okay. That's kind of cool.
Pegasus. Yeah, that's the Pegasus collar. That's pretty.
Yeah.
I love. You know what I like? Besides, you know, the fact that this is a piece of history and was worn by, you know, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. I like when people have like a signature thing that they wear. Ethan Behrman, remember he used to be on KGO. He'd always wear the bow ties, you know, not saying that bow ties are the same as a collar for a U.S. Supreme Court justice, but I kind of like that. You know, I'm going to be wearing this or something like this all the time to kind of either say something without saying anything sort of thing. I think it's pretty cool. So good luck to whoever wins that. It won't be me.
Yeah, it won't be me too. $200,000. They blew past my price range a long time ago.
Exactly.
But I think it's kind of cool. I was trying to find a picture of her wearing it. I think I have found one as well.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I don't know what you would do with it if you won it. I mean, if you did have all this money, then what do you do? Do you put it in a
glass case?
In a glass case in your house, or do you donate it to a museum, or do you wear it with a black sweater? I don't know what you do.
I mean, I think that I would definitely put it on if I won it. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Where does she get these things? Like, where do you get that? Like, is there a store that sells these that I don't know about? I have no idea.
I read that once she started wearing all these collars that she had, that people started giving them to her. And so a lot of these were gifted to her by people who, loved her politics, were friends, whatever, and who would see something like that and then buy it for her and give it to her. So I don't know about where she got this one.
Right.
But yeah.
That's pretty. All
yeah,
right.
it sure is. This report is crowdfunded, which means we do rely on you. Find us online, won't you, at thenikkimedoroshow.com, thenikkimedoroshow.com. That's where the PayPal and the Patreon link is. And of course, if you want to participate in our raffle, you can do that as well. I'm Kim McAllister. This is The Nikki Medoro Show.
Yes, and buy those raffle tickets. Only a couple weeks left, so you want to get them in and then be part of it. And you can buy more than one. I put your name in all the times for all the things that you buy, $20 a piece. And again, could include meeting me. Not that, I think that's worth $20. I will personally deliver it to you. So there you go. And with gas prices what they are, no, just kidding. So again, PayPal, thenikkimedoroshow@gmail.com. Include your email address, please. Okay, so let's talk about technology. I can't go anywhere. And I wish I was exaggerating, but I pretty much can't. I mean, maybe if it's close to my house, and I've gone there many, many times, but not even then. I am so addicted to using Waze because I want to avoid any sort of problems. Waze has saved my ass so many times of avoiding both street accidents, power outage where the lights are out, those sorts of things, so many times that I check, even if I'm going like 2 miles away, I go, is there anything that's going to hinder my progress? Well, there was this guy, this father, a North Carolina man, and he died after following directions, not from Waze, but from Google Maps. Okay. I'm going to play you a little bit of a news report. It's really freaking sad, but I have made this, and it's sad to do it in line with somebody losing their life, but I've made this joke all the time. I will drive off a cliff if Waze tells me to. No, Waze tells me to go that way, and I follow it so religiously. My husband hates it. He hates Waze. He hates it. And I'm like, if you would have put Waze in, you wouldn't have been lost right now. If he distracts me and I'm not looking at Waze and then all of a sudden he misses his exit, I get so pissed off. I go, if you would have put it in the damn thing, we wouldn't be lost right now. But this is the story of a guy that actually lost his life because he was so closely following Google Waze. I know.
Kind of just imagine your entire future and life as you know it disappearing in the blink of an eye.
It happened to Alicia Paxton almost a year ago. Alicia tells us her world came crashing down when her husband Philip died in a car accident, leaving her a widow to raise the couple's children.
I just tried to, be strong for the girls.
Since then, Alicia has hired an attorney, Robert Zimmerman, and filed a lawsuit claiming her husband was using Google Maps at the time of the crash.
We expect what I think everyone would expect, which is if you're going to plug in directions on Google or any of these other apps, that they give you safe and proper directions.
The lawsuit details a dark and rainy September night when the 47-year-old husband and father was leaving his daughter's ninth birthday party, claiming he was relying on Google Maps to get him home. But his wife says he never made it, driving his Jeep off an apparently collapsed bridge to his death.
There was no barricade there.
On page 10 of the lawsuit, Zimmerman says Google was aware of the damaged bridge after receiving at least 2 complaints the attorney claims to have discovered as a part of the legal process. In the suit, he points to an email where someone who appears to be linked to the popular Maps app seemingly replied to a Hickory resident's complaint about the bridge. And Alicia, who still lives near the scene of her husband's death, says the unrepaired bridge looks the same a year later.
My friends, they put those barricades to stop anyone else from getting hurt, to try to. I mean, I just fell down to the ground screaming because it was that easy.
A representative from Google responded to this complaint in a statement that reads, "We have the deepest sympathies for the Paxton family. Our goal is to provide accurate routing information in maps, and we are reviewing this lawsuit." We also reached out to the other companies that the family attorney says are linked to this bridge in the lawsuit, but we haven't heard back from them yet.
And the fact that the bridge is still washed out, and apparently if you go on Google, it still doesn't notify you that it's washed out, is really sad. Now, what do you guys think? I mean, is this really on Google or Waze or one of these places? Or is the onus always on you? I don't know.
What do you think about using common sense? What do you think about using your eyes, your instincts?
Right. I mean, it was washed out and there was no barricade. So I also blame like the city, county, whatever runs that bridge. Like, that could happen even if you're not looking at Waze. If you're driving and it looks like the road's going and then the road is completely washed out and has been for a long time, like if it just happened, okay. But if you know that this bridge is attached to a road people are still driving on, that's where I think the lawsuit really should be.
So there are a lot of people I can think of maybe 3 or 4 cases that have driven off the boat ramp in Alameda saying they were following Google directions. At least one person died by going down this street and straight into the water and their car sinks. Okay. It's about roadways, and conditions on roadways are constantly changing.
Yes.
It is. It's one of the reasons why, while you can have these services like Google Maps or Waze or online traffic situations, it's never going to be up to the minute like it is when you're, having a reporter looking at CHP logs and everything, all the information coming in.
Right.
It's hard to get everything to be changed. I mean, during storms, you've got streets that are flooded out, as you saw there, bridges that are washed away, streets that have sinkholes in them in San Francisco that aren't safe to go down. It is incumbent upon us to watch where we're going, to look at what is ahead of us.
An understatement. Exactly. But yes, absolutely.
You cannot blindly follow an online, please turn right at the next light.
And it's like off a cliff. You're like, well, maybe that is the quickest
when
way.
It's telling me to turn right, but my eyes say, looks like a one-way street. And I'll be headed into oncoming traffic. Well, no. I mean, does Google have a responsibility here? Maybe, but so did the driver for paying attention to what's going on around you.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. Eric brings up an interesting point, though, Kim. On the other hand, imagine this happening in a driverless car. Yeah. So now you're offloading those eyes, common sense, to a device who. I don't know. Maybe they're able to detect that's water in front of me, or there's nothing.
Really good point, Eric.
That is real. And who knows what's going to happen in situations like that, right? I don't know. Is the technology going to be better and be like, there's nothing in front of me, I'm not going, or are they going to be like, well, my program says there's a bridge there, so I'm just going to go forward. Right. I don't know. And sadly, if you're not behind the wheel, you don't even get the option, unless you're closely following it from the back seat or wherever you're sitting, to be that added eyes and common sense to the situation. Lori thinks it's ridiculous. Go ahead.
I would just blame, I agree with you. I think I would blame the city or whoever is in charge of road maintenance in that area for not blocking it off or not, making it safer for drivers, putting up signs, warning people. That needs to be done.
Right. Yeah. She said, Lori says, you need to still watch the road, waiting for someone to use this as a defense for hitting a pedestrian. I understand they should have fixed it if they received complaints, but and I think, I don't like Google Maps that much. I like Waze. It's the platform that I use all the time. And somebody else was mentioning earlier, it let me know about cops, hiding in the bushes and things like that. Sure. Waze does that. I don't know if Google does that. I don't think so. So Waze will tell you if there's a cop hiding. And what it does is it uses other people that are using Waze to notify. Yeah. And so maybe in that instance, and I'm not saying Waze would have saved the person, but with Waze, if somebody alerts like, oh, there's a cop or there's an object in the road, the next person that comes by will be asked, is that still there? And if it is still there, they leave it, right? And so, and I don't know if there's a time limit on how long something stays up or they just assume that it's gone. But maybe somebody would have been like, that bridge is washed out. They put it in Waze and then it stays like that until somebody, until the community takes it away. I could be wrong about how the platform works, but that's how I've experienced it. And it is really sad that, because if you just go off a bridge, your car, you could be injured and died. And it sounds ridiculous, but at the same time, if you're really trusting, Google Maps or Waze or whatever, that can happen. That's technology for you. You become so dependent on it that you listen to it, even if your eyes and senses are telling you, no, hazard, don't go that way.
We love to go to Armstrong Redwoods, which is kind of a redwood forest, beautiful redwood forest state park in the north of Petaluma.
Okay.
It's still in, I think it's still in Sonoma County.
Okay.
It's near Forestville, like in this whole area. And if you put in the directions into Google Maps to how to get there, it leads you around the garden path, like up through mountains. It will have you taking an extra hour to get there.
Oh, wow.
But if you know how to get there, it, takes half that time. They consistently give you the wrong directions. It's not always right.
Right. Yeah. There's definitely so this is what I do on Waze, not Google Maps. Again, I don't use Google Maps. So Waze gives you route options.
Right.
And I know, somebody says Google owns Waze. And so I think that they both kind of communicate.
Share
but it's
information.
It's just the interface I like better with Waze. But you can also set it for avoid highways. So you can look up different routes. But yeah, many times I'll be looking at something and I'll be like, that is not the quickest way to go. Or I'll keep refreshing it and seeing what they give me.
But Waze often has reasons. I once was on the way home from Disneyland and I was using Waze because of traffic and, accidents and police, units hiding in the bushes, as you mentioned. It told me to get off of the freeway and travel through this frontage road on this town, and kind of had me going through this town and then getting back on a different freeway. And I wondered, this is weird, but I'm going to try it to see if what they're saying makes sense.
Right.
It absolutely made sense, because it turns out that had been an accident on that freeway. Traffic was stacking up, and I'm on this, this other freeway, and I'm saving all kinds of time. And that was because of Waze. So sometimes it looks like, your common sense would think, why are they making me go on city streets, when really they have a reason for doing it?
And that's what pisses off some people, like in Los Gatos, in my neck of the woods, because people will go off to get around something on Highway 17 and go around. And those streets have tons of people now on their roads. So there's like a love-hate relation, and you're going through neighborhoods and things like that. I know even when I would take my kids to school, there's this, people that live in the neighborhoods know this street is parallel to this busy street. So you just take this neighborhood street at the appropriate speed, of course, and you can bypass all that traffic on the busy street. Well, all of a sudden Waze gives up the secret, and now everyone's going down there and they're not following the traffic laws, and it becomes a problem. And so, yeah, I get it. But I use Waze again for everything. And it really gave me pause, because like, this is where technology is going. It is making us, and some people are saying, dumber, because we're just offloading our common sense, our intelligence onto this, and trusting it so much that tragedy can honestly happen. And but again, as far as a lawsuit, I think the city, whoever runs that bridge, they are the ones that should be held liable. Google, and Grady brought up the Thomas Guide. My dad was a realtor, so I always had Thomas Guides in my trunk. And remember, we would print off the directions. There was some meme that's like, do you remember back in the day when we would print directions and just drive around like pirates with our map? Like, which way are we going? Oh, and it wasn't that long ago. I mean, honestly, it wasn't that long ago. Donald says, we went to the town of Murphy's 2 weeks ago, used Apple Maps to find the B&B. Siri took us to a place on the other side of town. Turned out the street address can be found in 2 locations.
Sometimes, I'm telling you.
Everyone, you know how I feel about Siri. I don't like Siri at all. But yeah, it's a give and take, right? They give you all this, but they're taking away, some of the privacy and some of the good secret routes that some people may have. And that's just, my dad gave me a Thomas Guide too, Kim, when I started driving.
Yep. I had a Thomas Guide. We used to use them up in the sky to, do traffic in the sky.
If I went on a road trip, I would follow it, and I would see what was out, and it was like the map and everything. So, but again, you have to learn how to go places.
That was the old days though, Thomas Guides. And then it got to the point where, kind of before Google apps and everything, we still had Google Maps. So in the newsroom, you would know where you're going out to a story, and when you would print out the directions.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Google printout.
MapQuest
and now
or
that
whatever,
seems so ridiculous to actually look up the directions ahead of time. Now you just do it as you're driving out there. Yeah.
I mean, what I do, honestly, so if I'm going someplace I've never gone before, I put it in Waze, because then Waze will tell you how long it takes to get there at whatever time you need to go, which also helps me out. And so then I'll do that. And I usually give myself, some buffer, because who knows what's going to happen while I drive there. And so I'll look, and then I'll look at the overview, and I'll see the map, and I'll see, okay, if I have to go there and there and there. And then Waze lets you put in, and so does Google, obviously, other stops and the time between all the stops. It's very convenient, but it also can lead you right off a cliff, literally. What are you looking for, your Thomas guide?
I have these maps. I have these really cool maps in my drawer. They are easy finder maps. You guys may have seen these. They're laminated.
Oh, the laminated, so you don't have that paper BS.
So this is my map of my laminated map of San Jose.
Oh, that's cool.
I used to use these in the helicopter too, and I would draw on them with the dry erase, so I'd know exactly where we are and exactly where the route is. Yeah, so I have all these plastic maps. Here's my North Bay one.
Oh, that's awesome.
I don't know why I still have them. I guess I could chuck them now.
No, keep them. I mean, that's really actually pretty cool, because you know what? The apocalypse is going to happen, and then the internet's going to go down, and then you won't know where you're going. You'll need
And who's the girl with the plastic maps?
There you go. Put it in your emergency box, right? Everyone's talking about their go bags and stuff like that. And we're going to talk about it more, as not only the anniversary of this show, but of Loma Prieta's earthquake is coming up very, very quickly. It's the same day, right? October 17th? That was the same day. Yeah. Okay. I think so. It was October 17th, right? Okay. Everyone's mentioning MapQuest. That was the go-to one. Okay, and then finally, before we end the show, speaking of technology, I didn't get to these people yesterday. Do you know who these people are?
No.
Do you know what they're holding in their hands?
It looks like a white purse.
It's a drone dropping. That's the package. The drone has dropped. This couple, Susie and Paul Sensmeyer, got their first drone delivery on a whim 4 years ago. But since then, the retired couple from Virginia has made it part of their daily routine. They don't get around as much as they used to, obviously, because of their age. They say the drone delivery has helped them stay in their home longer than they may have otherwise. Apparently, they have received the world's most drone deliveries.
Oh.
In 2019,
Do
Paul
they
and Susie
live out in Timbuktu or something?
Well, they live in Virginia. I think there's a lot of Timbuktus in Virginia. I don't know. I haven't been. They live in actually Christiansburg, Virginia. They've placed 1,200 orders via Wing's drone delivery service. They order a lot of everyday items from Walgreens, playing cards, colored pencils, toothbrushes, toothpaste, sunscreen, cold medicine, COVID-19 kits. During the pandemic, they also got 93 boxes of Girl Scout cookies delivered by drone, the most of which they gave away, which I would hope so. They also... the couple's drone delivery spiked when the grandson was temporarily living with them. And this is what surprised me. This is what stuck out the most. He got delivered by drones burritos from a local Mexican restaurant.
Oh.
Food.
That's weird.
Okay. The average delivery time, 12 minutes, 14 seconds.
Wow.
That's a technology that people, and they're an older couple. I was also surprised by the age. I'm like, the stereotypical, I don't want to use technology, Luddite type of attitude. Nope.
So is it their drone that they send out to collect
No, it's Wing.
things?
Wing is the company. They go through Wing, and Wing does these drone deliveries. I don't understand drone delivery. Why
are we not using that? We're high tech. What's wrong with us?
I never told you guys, speaking of technology, drone delivery, I tried to use when I went to go see Matthew, my kind of hottie right over here.
Yeah.
The Cruise or Waymo. I forgot. I can't. So I don't know which one it is. I think it's Waymo. Doesn't start until 9:00 at night. It only works overnights. And then whatever the other one is, it's not allowed to go. It's still in the you need an invitation phase. So I wasn't able to use it. I did try. I was going to mention that. I did try. So I haven't done that. And I still was a little iffy about that. Drones, there's so many questions with drones. Why wouldn't somebody shoot it down? Why wouldn't somebody just follow it and take it when it lands? Like, am I going to be fighting somebody for my package after it's delivered? What if it's medication and somebody tries to steal it? Like, there's so many things that can happen between it hitting the skies and it landing on my porch. And where does it land on my porch? Do I need a big porch? What if I live in an apartment? Many questions with drones.
They say, and this is even more questions. I've heard it said that it's better if you have a place where in your backyard or something.
I would imagine,
where they can deliver it, so then people won't rip you off. But what's going on in your backyard? Are they going to drop it off, and your dog's going to tear it to shreds if your dog is in the backyard? I don't know. I mean,
exactly.
Yeah.
So that older couple, the Sendens-Meyers, they recently moved to an assisted living center, and apparently the drones aren't delivering there, but they hope they will someday soon. Yeah, and Lori, that's exactly my point. I'm sure it's great if you have a front or backyard, but it doesn't seem practical if I live on the second floor of a multi-unit apartment building. Exactly.
Yeah.
And again, we already have a crime problem. Like, are you telling me you're going to be flying my goods in the air that somebody could track from their car or by foot, and then they're not just going to go and run up and either rob me or steal it from my porch pirates, drone pirates. I mean, that's just seems obvious to me. I hate to think of the worst of people, but in this day and age, come
I
on
think
now.
you have to.
And what if it falls from the sky? What if it loses its battery and then we got packages falling on our heads? I don't know, man. I really, really don't think that you could drop it on a balcony. If you have a balcony, what if you're an indoor apartment? What if you don't have a balcony? Fire escape? Yeah, nope. I don't know if drone delivery is going to catch on as much as everything else. I'm still hesitant of the whole, driverless car thing. I don't know about drones. What? You can do whatever you want.
I want to throw a story at you before we go.
Please. Okay.
Have you heard this one?
No.
Apparently, there's a problem
with
the name of UC Berkeley. So some people say UC Berkeley, and some people say Cal.
Cal, yeah.
It's the same school.
Cal, Berkeley, whatever.
Cal Berkeley is the nickname. But some people apparently think Cal is a different school than Berkeley. Yeah.
What?
Some people don't get it, I guess. They say it's too different. Some people just think they're two separate schools. So now there's scuttlebutt of giving UC Berkeley a different nickname or a different name.
No, well, they'll never be able to do that. It's too ingrained.
I think so too. But this task force they put together about rebranding is suggesting merging the names to rebrand the athletics department as Cal Berkeley Athletics. Now, instead of Cal Athletics or UC Berkeley Athletics, they call it Cal Berkeley.
Okay.
They say having two distinct identities has interfered with efforts to create a sense of belonging on campus. Some students, such as student athletes, feel excluded from the Berkeley identity because they're only allowed to use Cal in athletic context. So it seems like when you're talking about UC Berkeley, you're talking about the academics, but when you say Cal, you're talking about sports, right? So now they want to make it all one all the time. That they want to clarify that Berkeley and Cal are the same institution. And so they'll just call it Cal Berkeley.
Interesting. I mean, I don't think look, don't raise student fees to pay for this nonsense. Okay. I mean, to me, it seems ridiculous, but if there's a fund that does not charge people more money, take it out of the administrators or whatever's payment or salary, fine. But don't be charging people just because they can't get it together. I am sure that if you want to go to Berkeley, UC Berkeley, you'll understand that Cal is the Cal Athletics. But calling it Cal Berkeley, I don't actually have a problem with that. I think it could help, I guess, clear up the confusion of people.
Some unity there. I don't know.
I guess.
They say that when you are an alumni, that you're more likely on your resume to put that you went to UC Berkeley or Berkeley. Of course. And the overwhelming majority of alumni, students, and faculty say they prefer Berkeley or UC Berkeley when they refer to the university, whereas the name Cal is associated with athletics and school spirit.
I really don't see the big problem there. I really, really don't. Of course, you're going to put the name of the name of the college is UC Berkeley. Of course, you're going to put that down on your resume. Of course, when somebody says, "What college did you go to?" you're going to say UC Berkeley. Now, if you say Cal, I feel like it's very much the athletics. I'm going to the Cal game, right? That's what people say. I'll go to the Cal game. Right. That's fine. Again, I love Kim. Yeah. Those people are not local. They're very confused. And again, hold on. Lori said, it sounds like a UC Berkeley problem. Always say Cal Berkeley because lots of UC campuses. There you go. There you go. All right. Click the thumbs up button, you guys, before we end the show. Please stay on YouTube. Mark Thompson is next, along with Kim McAllister. And then Kim hosts the After Party Live with John Daly. All the links you could find right there. Please become a Medorable. Go to theNikkiMedoroShow.com. Sign up to be a monthly Patreon subscriber. We depend on you guys so very much to keep this show going. Again, the raffle is going on. PayPal is the way to buy your $20 raffle tickets to win a mystery box of my favorite things next month. Snap up those raffle tickets right now. And then PayPal, of course. The email is theNikkiMedoroShow@gmail.com or right on your screen, paypal.me/theNikkiMedoroShow. I do want to say thank you to Harry with the $5 donation to our super chat. And thank Beth coming in with $50, throwing some funds into the pot while I'm still around. Thank you, Beth, for spending the moments of your life with us every single day. We will be back tomorrow. Kim, this is your reminder.
Okay.
Grilled cheese. I know you don't cook, so I know it's going to be David making this grilled cheese sandwich.
I've already have my request in for grilled cheese. He's already said yes.
So let's just preface this that I'm making my own grilled cheese sandwich. You're going to make it today and record it, right?
No, because you can't make a grilled cheese early. That's gross.
No, I was going to record a video of it and then
has to be fresh.
I can't make it fresh. When are we going to eat it? Right at the start of the show?
I guess, because what if it sits around for an hour? It's hard.
That's not good. Okay, so we're going to have to make it like right before the show. Damn it. It doesn't take that long. All right. Right before the show, mine's going to be plain. Hers is going to be fancy. We're going to do the cheese pull, and you tell me which one looks more delicious. Although mine's going to be screwed because it's going to be cold, but whatever. All right, fine. I got my bread. I got my plastic cheese all ready to go. All right. That's tomorrow. Bye, guys. Mwah.
Nikki, you're all so awesome. You're proud, like a beautiful blossom. You're also the best. I really can't rest. You're all so awesome.
Wow. Okay.